Hey you, welcome back to my channel. It's been a cool little minute, but we're gonna hop back in it like I never left. So we're going to set up my January budget, and for those of you who have been following and know that I had twins, don't worry, and as you can hear, nothing happened to them. I didn't disappear because anything was wrong. It's just that they gave me a run for my money more than anticipated. They're right outside my door. I'm so sorry, but this is the best time to film. Um yeah, so nothing's wrong. I just stepped away because I wanted the twins to get to a certain independence level before I hop back on YouTube and, you know, start doing that because I felt like I couldn't juggle the newborn twins and YouTube. So that's the only reason why I left. So let's go ahead and hop back into budgeting, and we're going to start with the January 2023 budget. So, with this budget, I'm going to try a new format since been gone a while. I feel like you guys deserve like a little bit of elevated budget. So, we're going to try this out. Let me know how you guys like it versus the way I used to do my videos. But yeah, so let's start with the monthly expenses. Monthly, we're going to start here instead of the income. So while I've been gone, I have not been budgeting in my budget planner at all, but I have been making sure that we stay current on all of our bills. So with doing that, of course, we've been working and stuff like that. So I've been saving our income from our third paycheck months, or our three paycheck months, also known as magic months. So I've been saving that and I'm going to use it now. So as of January, we are 1 month ahead, and I'm going to use that money to pay all of January's expenses. So that's why I'm not starting with income, because I want to know how much all of our expenses for the month are going to be. So that I can know how much to pull from the money that we have set aside. For our 1 month ahead fund. So let's go ahead and start with the monthly expenses. Our mortgage is $1,965.97. Childcare, we got it all the way down to $57. Praise Jesus. And that's just because we got into a subsidy program. I think it's statewide in California, but definitely local to our area. So they subsidize the full tuition cost of all three of the kids. Can I get an amen? So that is down to $57 a month. And for comparison, we were spending what I think 1,100 just for our son to go there. So with all three kids, $57, yes, feeling it. Water and trash, I budgeted $130 just compared to this time last year, and that's going to be for all the utilities. Electric $25, natural gas $110. Life insurance for my husband is $69.96. Life insurance for me is $57.64, and Vivint is $57.14. Farmers, which is our car insurance, is $308.16. Frontier is $72.86. Verizon is $184.67, and ID theft is $12.90. So our monthly expenses come to $3,051.30 for the month of January. And since I am getting back into budgeting, except for the monthly expenses, which I know, like I looked up the last 3 months, especially for the utilities, I know those are going to be, pretty on point. But as for cash envelopes, I am using the numbers that I used in February 2022, and we already know that inflation has kicked those prices butts. But I just need somewhere. I needed like something quick for me to use and like just jump back into budgeting. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm not trying to get it down to the penny. I just want to be like relatively close, and we'll see how that's going to be with our cash envelopes. So for our cash envelopes, we have gas at $360, groceries at $300, Costco at $200, diapers and wipes at $100, and beauty, which is basically for me to get my eyebrows done and leave a tip, is $20. And that total for cash envelopes is $980. So next is going to be our debt. The only debt that we are paying our credit cards, but we were paying those off fully every month. But that's going to be a whole nother budget, whole nother video of explaining like our whole debt situation. We are back in debt for various reasons. I know why. Like we didn't just stumble into debt unknowingly. Like we went into debt full eyes open, and it's just, it's mostly credit card stuff, just living life while I wasn't budgeting and paying attention to the numbers. So, but as far as monthly like expenses, debt is just our car loan for $256.29. And again, we are paying on our credit cards. We got student loans. We got the whole little, Rolodex of debt, but we're just focusing on the car loan for right now. So next is going to be our sinking funds, and sinking funds is going to be $52.43, but I don't know if that's going to be in paycheck one, paycheck two, or is it going to be a combination of the paychecks. So that's just going to be a plug for now. I know after all of our expenses, we're going to have $52.43 left, because I did do this budget ahead of time so I could come prepared at least for this portion. So yeah. All right, so planned expenses section is next. Planned expenses for us is anything that is not a monthly expense, our four walls, things we need to survive. It's just like, this is like our fun section. This is where we are intentionally budgeting for things that we want to do in order to live our lives as we see fit. So, planned expenses for the month of January is zero. We are going to go and have like some family events. So, but for the most part, we don't have any extra like events going on that require money. So, but in the plan expenses, in my budget planner, I do use that section for my business expenses for YouTube and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and list out the business expenses, which is going to be the only thing in planned expenses for this month. So in the business expenses, we have iCloud at $9.99, Adobe Cloud at $19.99, Epidemic Sound at $15, HP Ink at $15, and Canva, which I need to restart, is going to be $100. And I don't know, I usually pay Canva for the entire year instead of like a monthly fee, just because I use Canva so much. I use Canva to make these slides that you guys are seeing. So yeah, Canva is like a must if you're trying to do any like visuals for YouTube, or just social media period. It's super easy. um, Okay, so $100 for Canva. And for my business expenses, that brings us to $159.98. So, and again, that's the only thing that's in the planned expenses for the month of January. So, budget summary for January. We're going to back into the income so that we know how much we need for the month. Again, so savings is zero. Monthly expenses is $3,051.30. Cash envelopes came to $980. Debt is $256.29. Sinking funds is that plug that we talked about, is $52.43, and planned expenses is $159.98. So all of those expenses for the month total $4,500. So that is the total income that we need for the month. But I need to now figure out how much of that money that we set aside for the 1 month ahead fund. We need to know how much of that we need to pull for this month's expenses, so that everything gets funded that we just went through. So of the 4,500, I already know that $159.98 needs to come out of my business account. So this channel is not monetized. I got demonetized on my hiatus. So that money is coming out of our pockets, but I have to put it into the business account and then pay all the stuff, because that's just the way the IRS wants you to do it. So I'm going to transfer that, and then what's remaining is $4,340.02, which we need to pull from that 1 month ahead fund that we had set aside. So again, in total, that's $4,500 for the month of January. So now that we got that done, I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on the overhead so that we can go through the budget that we just set up, and we set it up for a weekly breakdown. All right, so that is the monthly budget. But I don't like to stop there just because I like to break down the monthly budget by paycheck. So I like the way I budget because I can tell like, how to split up your expenses and what expenses should go in which paycheck and all that kind of stuff, and give you wiggle room so that you don't go over budget. So that's what my drill down budget method will help you do. So you go from um, it actually starts with the annual budget, and I still need to do that, so I'll do that with you guys. And then it goes to a monthly budget, which we just did, and then it goes to a weekly budget, which we're about to do, and then it goes down to just like tracking expenses. And you can track your expenses daily. I like to just on these pages, I like to write down um, my paycheck budget, and then I'll track it and check the bank accounts and see what came out, that kind of thing. I'll check it every day, just like a quick 5 minutes, see what came out, um, and write anything that we may have like bought that was unbudgeted. I'll do it right here, but yeah. So let's break down. I'm not going to do the income just yet because I want to see how much we need per paycheck first. Okay, so I already have the childcare split up, and um, actually, I lied. I need to see where these bills fall on this monthly calendar. So the pink dots are the 1st through the 15th. So any bills that fall from the 1st to the 15th are pink, and then any bills that fall from the 16th to the last day of the month is blue. So let's see, the mortgage is definitely going to fall on paycheck number 1, which is represented by column number 1, 196597. And then water and trash falls on the 20th, and it's blue, so that goes in paycheck number 2. Electric is 25, and that falls on the 28th. Okay, so I'm just going to flip back and forth and write down which paycheck these bills fall into according to this calendar. So I'll be right back. Okay, so the mortgage, childcare, childcare is due weekly, so I just added up 2 weeks worth and put it in column 1 and column 2. Let's see, and then water, trash, electric, farmers, Verizon, and ID theft fall in paycheck number 2. And then, like I was saying, paycheck number 1 also has natural gas, the life insurances, Vivint, and Frontier. So already looking, because of the mortgage, we're choosing to pay all of the mortgage out of one paycheck. So our like paycheck number 1 is taking the hardest hit, which is okay because, like I said, we are 1 month ahead, so we can just put more of the money into the first paycheck of the month instead of the second, which is perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and split up our cash envelopes. So gas, we'll do 180 and 180. And then groceries, 150, 150. Costco is 100, 100. Diapers and wipes, we'll do 50 and 50. Beauty, we'll do, you know what? I just got my eyebrows done, so I'm actually, let's see, we'll put it in paycheck number 2 because I'll be good for a couple of weeks. So let's put that in paycheck number 2. Car loan falls in paycheck number 1. Okay, and then sinking funds. I'm not going to do sinking funds just yet because I don't know in which paycheck or both paychecks. I don't know how that money is split. So I don't know if it's all in paycheck number 1, number 2, or if it's like $50 here and the rest is here. So I'm going to back into this number once we calculate the rest of the numbers. So I'm going to keep going. iCloud. Canva Canva, I actually want to get back on ASAP, so I'm going to put that in paycheck number 1. HP ink, I'm going to put that in paycheck number 1 because I want to go back to printing my own stickers. I definitely need to re-up on them. So Epidemic Sound, I'm just going to put all of, well, this one, iCloud, comes out in paycheck number 1 anyway. I know that one is auto deducted because Apple gonna get their money. And Adobe Cloud typically comes out on the first paycheck anyway. So yeah, and I want to make sure that's okay. So we're just gonna put that full $159.98 in paycheck number 1. So let's go back and let's add up all of the monthly expenses for paycheck number 1. Okay, so that is 2,362.07. So let's do paycheck number 2 for the monthly expenses. Okay, so that is 689.23. And if I add those two numbers together, it should equal this 2,936.02. All right, it does not at all equal that. So I messed up somewhere adding these up. So let me, because I know the monthly column is right because we got it to 0 before. So let me go ahead and figure out where I went wrong. All right, so I figured out what it was. I had added these wrong originally when I was doing the monthly portion. So now that I fixed that, that new total is 3,051.30. So when I add those two up, it does equal 3,051.30. So we'll move on to adding up these two sections. Okay, so 480 for paycheck number 1, and then 500 for paycheck number 2 for cash envelopes, and then just bring down this car loan, and then we're going to back into that, and then I believe we already did this portion. So yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's add up how much we're going to need for paycheck number 1 and for paycheck number 2. Okay, so we're going to need 3,258.34. Okay, so for the business section, since all of it is going to be coming out of paycheck number 1, I'm going to put all of it in paycheck number 1. So I want to be exact with paycheck number 1, so I'm just going to put the exact total that we need. So, oops. 3,258.34. So subtract this 159, and that's 3,098.36. So add those two together, you'll get the 3,258.34. So go ahead and bring that down. Okay, so 3,258.34 minus 2,362.07 is 896.27 minus 480, 416.27. Okay, 159.98. And then I don't want any of this money to come from paycheck number 1, so I'm gonna just bring this total down. Okay, so 159.98, that's gonna be 0. I know I can already do that. So 159.98 minus 159.98 is going to give us 0 for paycheck number 1. And this budget really isn't that complicated. It's just the way that I'm doing it makes it seem complicated. I know, I'm so sorry. But this is just the way that I do it, because since we're 1 month ahead, I want to back into the number. So the amount that we need. But typically you would start here, and then you would just put your income, and then you would list all of your expenses and keep going and subtracting your expenses until your income reaches zero. And that's really all it is. It's just that I'm having to bounce around because I want to really have control over like where the money is going at what point of time. So in paycheck number one or paycheck number two. So yeah. And I'm definitely unorganized because I just hopped into this budget without doing any pre-work. So yeah, I want to make sure that I just start um, following the budget and just getting back on track. I'm not aiming for perfection. I'm just aiming for it to be done. I'm going to track anything that doesn't go the way that's planned, or anything that I need to add into the next budget. I'll make sure that I write it down so that it goes into the next budget, to, just in case I miss something. But yeah, believe me, this budget is super duper duper easy. It's just the way I'm doing it is complicated. So, anyways, um, let's see. So, from this total, this is going to be zero. So, we need 4340 spot 02 minus 3098 spot 36 is 1,241 spot 66. Bring that down because we're not putting anything into savings. So that minus 689 spot 23 minus the monthly expenses for paycheck number 2 is going to be 552 spot 43. Subtract 500 for the cash envelopes is going to be 52 spot 43. We're just going to bring that down because we don't have any debt coming out of paycheck number 2. And then we're going to put all of this sinking funds is going to come from paycheck number 2, because I want the money to be left at the end. And oops, that total is 52 spot 43, which subtract that amount is going to give us 0. So the amount that we bring over to paycheck number 2 is 0, and then this total down here is 0 as well. So we have a completely zero-based budget. All the math is correct. I did the monthly budget. I did the budget for paycheck number 1 and paycheck number 2. So this section, I'm going to do my debt tracker. So I'm going to look up how much debt we have for our car and for all of our credit cards, and then I'm going to write it in this section. But I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll share it with you guys in the next budget video. So, and then right here is just a section for you to keep track of your credit score every month, and then you can see like how it changed or whatever if you're on a credit score journey as well. And then right here is just some notes that I take note of things that may happen during the month that I just want to take note of. So I wanted to have plenty of like notes sections. So yeah, so what I'm about to do now is basically write all of column 1 on expense tracker number 1, and then all of column 2 on expense tracker number 2. So that way throughout the month, I already have my budget completely set up, and all I have to do is literally follow what we just did. And if anything changes, like since we're 1 month ahead, but say like we weren't and our income was below this 4340 that we needed, then I could go ahead and adjust our budget ahead of time, because I already know ahead of time that we're going to be short, and then I could pick something in here where it's like, oh, we may need to decrease our groceries, because you can't decrease anything over here because it's fixed. So you can only control the cash envelopes. Your debt is what it is, but if you're spending over the minimum amount, maybe you could tone it back down. It's just like the drill down budget method gives you control over your budget before the month happens, because you've already decided where every single penny, if you budget to the penny, um, decide where every single penny is going to go. And yeah, you just follow the plan. So there is no way that you can um, go over budget unless you decide to, if that makes sense. So because even if your money comes in short, all you do is just adjust the budget like I just said. So I'm going to go ahead and write these expenses in off camera, and then I'll show you guys what I did, and then we'll wrap this video up. Alrighty, so I did expense tracker number 1, and you can see that I put N plus D pay number 1, and then N plus D pay number 2. So me and my husband's take home. So expense tracker number 1, all I did was literally copy everything from here. Whoops, took out the pages. So everything from column number 1, including the income and all of the expenses, all I did was washi tapes everywhere. All I did was write the expenses and the amount. That's the income, but you guys get it. And then the expenses and then the amount. And once, well, not once, but we're already in January. So January 1st through 15th, I'm following this budget. And then from January 16th through the 31st, I'm following this budget. So say something comes up, I want to spend some money that it's not something that's listed here. What I'm going to do is write it here. So say I take a Target run, and then I don't have any cash on hand. So cash on hand just means like any spare money that's not included in this income right here. So say like somebody gave me $20, then I would put $20 right here, because that is not a part of your take home pay that you calculated up here. But since we're just going to go with like we're budgeting to the penny and we don't have any unbudgeted money, so cash on hand is 0. I spent $20, and then so my actual is 0 cash on hand minus $20 that I spent. I am down $20. So once I do all of my unbudgeted items for the 2 weeks, I'll write it right here, and then I'll add it up. And then I don't have any wiggle room in this budget, so that means that I'll just write a line right here for unbudgeted, and then I'll put in the actual column, because I didn't budget anything for it. In the actual column, I'll just put $20, negative $20, and then I'll put everything right here. And well, so actually, I don't want to make that negative, because that's going to mess up the math. So ignore that. I'm just going to put a line for unbudgeted, and then put that I actually spent $20. And then once I subtract the $20 from 0, then that's when I'll come over here and make it a negative. And then I'll add this column up to see what happened for that paycheck. So yeah, so that is January budget setup. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.